Hey guys, welcome to the third video of the FootMe tutorials. Today we're looking at player faces and editing them, how to add new kits to a player face, how to add the legend kit, how we can edit the player face and manipulate it and add stuff to it. So let's have a look at what we have here. We have a group called resources. In that group we have a picture of Balotelli, Kone and Vieira, all from Foothead, just copied and pasted, so they still retain that white background. If you download them or save them as from Foothead, you will get them without that. So to get rid of that white background, we're just going to use the Magic Wand tool and select the white background. The only issue with that is that it's selecting part of Balotelli's shirt, which has white in it, so we have to get rid of that part of the selection. So we're going to use the lasso and make sure we click on subtract from selection. That way we're taking away from what we've already selected, and we can remove that background as a whole. Yep, and now that looks good. So now Balotelli's all clean cut, ready to go, but we can't always use the Magic Wand tool, so I've just got this picture of Gerrard, so I can show you how to get rid of any other kind of background that's not white. So the tool I use is the lasso tool. Basically, you just select an area and then you can use that area, delete the area. So I normally work by selecting the background and deleting it. You can just select around the whole face and then use it. An easier way to do it is with a polygonal lasso. So what you can do with that is you click and then the selection like locks it, like it makes checkpoints with each click. So as you can see, I'm doing it here up Gerrard's face here, and you just want to stop, have a break, just select it out and delete that area, and then basically you want to do the same thing all the way around. With the normal lasso tool, it's just complete free movement, so it's a bit tricky, a bit more tricky than the polygonal one. Polygonal one's probably better for beginners. I'll just go back to it now, and you can watch me just quickly go around the face. It's just be really rough. So the more you click, the better your curves will be. You just click, move, click, move, click, move. So it's pretty simple. Click, move. So I'll just fast forward this bit. And basically you want all the pictures you work with to have no background. That makes them workable. So now back to Kone. We'll just remove his background. So we have Kone, Balotelli. And what we're going to do is put the Everton shirt on Balotelli. So there's two ways I do this. I'll show you the first one here. And that's what we do for this one, is we just isolate the kit. So I'm just going to try and get rid of Kone's face, so we just have the kit remaining. So you can use the Magic Wand tool to select that, or you can use the lasso to draw around and cut around the area where the kit isn't. So now I've got the kit by itself. I can turn it on, put it over Balotelli's layer, and now we can shift Balotelli around, shift the kit around, resize it if we have to, and just make it fit. And sometimes you might need to rub bits off, or erase bits of the kit, like on the left side here. You can see that part's going to go over his neck a little bit, and that doesn't look legit, so we're going to have to remove that. So just get the eraser, make sure it's hard, you don't want to like softly remove it. Yep, hard like that, perfect. And also you can see a bit of red from the Liverpool kit, so we just need to remove that as well. And we also need to make sure that the picture is even at the bottom, so just use a rectangular marquee tool for that. Just duplicated a layer so I have a backup. It's always good to have a backup. If you ever want to, not sure if your edit will work, just duplicate it and then do it on one layer so you always have a backup. Now we'll merge the two layers together and just rename that. So that's one way of putting the shirt on. That's probably the best way, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Here's the other way. We just copy over and we just get a soft eraser and erase around the bottom so it sort of blends in, but you have to have a similar skin tone on both players to do that one. And make sure you erase the back layer of the player near the head, as I did with Kone at the beginning. You might need to change the hue if they have a slight different skin color. So as you can see here, if his skin was more orange, I would just change it to make it more orange, but that one's pretty straightforward too. So here's both compared next to each other. You can choose which one you like to do better. They're both pretty easy to do. They're not major advanced stuff. It's just about getting the measurements right and making it look like it's in proportion. So Viera, get rid of background. Now we're going to get the legend shirt. We're going to do the same way we did for the other one. So I'm going to select Viera using the magic wand. The color difference between the legend shirt and his skin tone is pretty big, so the magic wand's a good tool to use. When it's not, I'd recommend using the lasso tool. So now I'm just going to pick up the rest of the scraps with the lasso tool. Get rid of his head. And that little black bit at the bottom. Not too good, so we'll just go around and remove that. Yeah, that looks alright. And now we want to switch Balotelli's layer back on, so we can, well, it looks pretty well positioned already, but we'll just, I think, make it a little bit smaller to perfect it, and I'll just move that. Yeah, moving around works as well. Yeah, it works pretty well actually, didn't have to change much. And then just remove the red from the Liverpool kit using the eraser. So that's really pretty simple. It's not too hard to do, add new kits. It's one of the easier parts of what I do on FootMe. So but this is what we're doing now. We're going to add a shadow, because Balotelli has a shadow on the side of his face down here to make it a bit more authentic. So I select the outside of a kit. I'm going to do, then select the outside of a kit, so all the space, then click inverse, which what inverse will do will change my selection to the kit and make a new layer. Then with a soft black brush, draw onto that new layer and change the opacity so it looks like I'm creating that shadow. So I only do that sometimes, like Balotelli there's a little bit of shadow, but some other players have a really hard shadow and it doesn't look legit if you have shadow on the face and then not onto the shirt. So that's how you can create a shadow. It's pretty easy, that one too. Just gotta make sure your brush is really not hard at all, 0% hardness, really soft, so it looks natural and clear. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you a few tricks that we can do to edit player faces and make them look ways they don't actually look, or just change the way they look. This is not only relevant for FIFA pictures, but just for any pictures, or yeah, any pictures you want to manipulate. So we're going to use Balotelli, and we're going to give him a buzz cut, so just like a shaved head all over, but not completely bald. So I select the outside with the magic wand tool, and now I'm going to I'm going to add to that selection, and I'm going to remove the top of the mohawk and give him the shape head that he would have if he was bald or had the skin or had the really short hair. So we're just going to select that top bit of the mohawk and take it off, and then once we've got that bit selection on the outside, we can inverse it so we have the selection of Balotelli, and we can't get out of that selection now. So everything we color in now will just stay inside that selection of Balotelli without the mohawk, the nice circular head. And basically what I'm going to do is use a clone tool, which all you do is select part of the face with holding Alt down, or Option or Command or whatever it is, and then you paste it somewhere else. So you just keep doing that and doing that. Hold Alt, select an area, then paste it and paste it and paste it. And since you're using natural parts of his picture, it looks sort of realistic. So that's a way you can manipulate part of the photo, and then at the end of it, looks like he naturally has a short hairstyle opposed to a mohawk. So if he were to get the haircut in real life, you could change his face to that, and then your picture of Balotelli would be more true to life, opposed to this mohawk one, which would have been outdated. So another thing we can do here is I'm going to select the mohawk. So I'm just going to go around and select the mohawk, and we're going to change the color of it. So if we just select here, it's going to be a really hard and sharp selection. So what you want to do after we finish selecting it is we're going to go to end that selection. We're going to go to oh my god, okay, we're going to go to the selection, and we're going to modify it and feather it, which what it does, it'll just make it a bit softer around the edges. So a little short one pixel feather, and I copied it and pasted it, so I've got it, and I can just move it over the top of it now. And what we can do is we've got this layer over the top of this other mohawk. So whatever we change this color, we can change this color now, and we'll see how it looks. So we'll go to hue, and we can move it around. The only thing is, with changing the hue, it's do it pretty dark because his hair is naturally dark. So what you want to do is change the brightness a little bit, so it amps it up a little bit. Yeah, so we'll give him a blonde mohawk. I think he's had the blonde mohawk before, so we'll give him that. And right now it looks a little bit fake still. A little bit, looks alright, but a little bit fake just because of the edges. They're not very natural because you can see that color change really distinctly. So I might just want to grab the eraser, making sure it's soft, not hard, and then just rub out the edges a tiny bit with a smaller brush, just so it blends a lot more. Because this way we've got his natural mohawk under this one over the top. So if we just rub it out, you can see a bit more of a natural one, and then it'll look more natural. So it sort of blends into the fake mohawk. And then yeah, you can change it to any color you want really. So that's one way you can edit a photo too. I use this a lot of the time when I'm making like new faces for players, like stuff like this. So I like to just make them look, not how they look, or how they look, yeah, or how they change their appearance. I can just do it on a picture like this. So this is, but all this we've just done here, we just edited parts of Balotelli and taken parts of Balotelli. Now I'm going to show you how to take parts of someone else and put it on. So Willian's got an afro here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and give Balotelli Willian's afro. So we could say we could use this if Balotelli ever got the afro haircut. So I'll make him the same size, background, he hasn't got a background, so he's good to work with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the part we don't need, because we don't need that part of Willian, and maybe we'll just select some of the inside of him so we can just see the part that we want, and we can position it better if we can see where it fits onto Balotelli's head. So another way you can do this is just lower the opacity of a layer so you can see over, but this helps me a bit better to see what it's going to look like here. So obviously you can see that does not look legitimate, but it gives me an idea of where I should position the afro. Okay, yeah, it looks alright. And now what I want to do is I want to go to Balotelli's layer and just select him. So remember, to select someone, just select the outside of them, then inverse the selection. So select inverse at the top, and that will just change the selection to what you weren't selecting. So we got that now. And we're selecting Balotelli. Select inverse, yeah. And now what I want to do is just contract it a bit. So, yep, so we have some space when we rub out. And what we're going to do is just going to rub out some areas that we don't want. Just over the soft brush, we're just going to rub out some areas we don't want. So we want to see, when we're rubbing out Willian, we're seeing the layer that's underneath, which is Balotelli. And now you can see Balotelli with a mohawk, with an afro. So basically we've got the hair layer on top still, but only the parts that we want on top. So we've rubbed out everything else. So it looks like it blends pretty well because they have similar skin tone. But yeah, that's how you get Balotelli with a afro. Pretty funky. So now I'm going to take the afro off, and what we're going to do is give him a huge mohawk. So he's already got a little mohawk underneath there. Let's try and make a bigger one using Willian's hair. So it might be a bit more trickier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little, I'm going to use the free form lasso and just make a spiky, fluffy afro. So just make him shape I think it would be using the lasso tool. And then select inverse, or feather it first, so it's got that nice soft feel. And we'll select inverse and just delete the rest. So see, since we feathered it, it's not as sharp and hard. It looks a bit more soft and a bit more natural and a bit more real. But it is a bit, I don't know, it's sort of shifting to the right. So I might remove some of that, make it a bit more straight. It's hard with a fluffy afro. I imagine it probably would shift to the right. Feather it again, and we'll just delete a bit, yep. Looks a bit too dark for his face, and it's a bit wonky too, so fix the wonky up. So even this is where you're gonna play around with color too, like with hue and saturation. Always look at that, and brightness and contrast, just to make sure everything fits and if something's too high in contrast and something another component's not, it won't look well. See, the brightness was too dark, we made it a bit brighter. Looks a bit more natural now, but it's still a bit shaped, a bit off, so I might use perspective and just bring it in a little bit, make it a little bit more real. And there we have a big, tall afro for Balotelli. So yeah, I don't know if that will be useful for you, but I'm just showing you how you can take components from another picture and bring them into your own. So hope you enjoyed the player faces tutorial. I will be doing a little bit more on player faces when I go into backgrounds, because I'm going to show you how to put a player face on an image. So say if you want a picture of Falcao playing for Real Madrid, I'm going to show you how to cut out his face and place it on a Real Madrid a Real Madrid body. So you might have seen that in other posts. So I'll teach you how to do that in one of the upcoming videos. So make sure you subscribe. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it helped you with gaining an understanding of how I do it, and I hope it helps you make your own faces. Thank you.